Good morning. Hello everyone. Hopefully you can hear and see me. Let's see what we have. If you can pop in the comments, guys, hello, where are you watching from? And the usual, I know it's been a while, but the usual note, if you can hear me as well, that would be amazing. It has been a while, hasn't it? Lockdown 2.0 brings us out of hiding as such. Let's see, are we live? We're indeed live, but who can hear me? Danny, Annabelle, happy birthday, Annabelle. Hello, Jessica. Ben, hello. From a family walk, fantastic. So 5 of you on. We are going to make sure. Great. Martin says, hello Arj, armchair viewing, coffee in hand, fantastic. Good morning, Rachel, watching from bed still and can hear and see you well. Awesome, great feedback. Enjoy that comfort of the warm blanket, please, Rachel. Claire, hello, hear you loud and clear. Just finished prepping the stew, so sat in the kitchen with a coffee. I love this, guys. We're all obeying the rules. The rules said, bring your coffee. I need to get a branded one of these, don't I? At the moment, it's my favourite mug, which is the owl mug. A little bit hot. So yeah, for week one, basically, I've had quite a few questions come in, and I'm not going to get through all of them because we are going to make sure we are done at 10:58 to give you time to get yourself prepared, set up, or whatever you need to do the moment silence at 11 a.m. So please, as it gets to 5 to 11, start writing loads of stuff in the comments saying, Arj, we are getting near the time. You need to basically stop. I'm going to load Instagram over here as well, just in case. Mikey, hello Mikey, live from Aberdeen, fantastic, hear you loud and clear. Latte and notepad and hand, I like that. I spoke to Mikey informally on Instagram a few weeks ago and he was doing some qualifications. That's like literally the best thing you could possibly do here, Mikey, is to have your notepad in hand. You don't know how happy that actually makes me. We have, as I've mentioned, had an awful lot of questions come in. So whatever I don't get through today, I promise you, we will transfer them over to tomorrow. We're going live on Instagram over here, so you might get double feed. If you're on Instagram over here, by the way, you get to see the office, which has been taken apart over here. So bare plaster and all of that stuff, as opposed to the nice themed background. Mark, hello, live, watching us live. Mark, this is our weekly lockdown live Q&A. Alwyn, former client of mine. Alwyn, it's great to see you. I hope you and the family are well and safe. Make sure you got a coffee in hand. We're going to get to our first question because, like I keep saying, we've got loads and loads of questions. And the first question is relating to lockdown and how we can actually maintain some muscle mass, how we can do strength resistance training, even though we don't have access to particularly heavy weights. Maybe you only have resistance bands. Maybe you don't have any of those kind of things and you're trying to do everything body weight. We have a couple of options available to you, and it really does depend on the kind of training benefits you want to get and the training status that you're in. Now, there are obviously loads and loads and loads of different types of caveats there. So instead of trying to hit every single one and constantly putting disclaimers in, I'm basically going to give you the main rule of thumb. And this question came in on Instagram. I don't know if they would want me to mention their name. Instagram, you're going all over the place here. You're going to come in front of me instead. So yeah, I don't know whether they would want me to mention their name or not. And therefore, this is for you. You know who you are. If we're trying to maintain muscle mass over a period of time without actually having the main stimulus for muscle growth, which is a weight training, kind of some form of heavy resistance work, then we should first of all look after our nutrition. So look to maintain a high level of protein consumption, or even better, increase that protein consumption somewhat. Every time we consume a dairy form of protein, namely whey protein, we actually have muscle protein synthesis takes place. So MPS, this is basically what grows muscle tissue. This is obviously fantastic. This is what we want to occur. And when there's an absence of a stimulus, so weight training, by just elevating protein intake and doing it every 3 to 4 hours, having a protein hit as such, you can give yourself the best opportunity. Now, it is not a replacement for weight training. So the other option, or the second thing really, you should be doing both of these. The second thing is to effectively find ways to stimulate your muscle mass. And it might mean that you go to some form of volume training as opposed to doing 4 sets of 6 to 8 reps, for example. Perhaps you go to something like 5, 6, 7, 8 sets of 10 or 12 or 15 repetitions. There's all the old kind of recommendations, which are, if you want to grow muscle, you have to train between 8 to 12 reps. And if you want to get lean, you have to train between 10 and 15 reps. Mikey, this might actually be on one of your qualifications. So make sure when you pass a qualification, do it with the tick box, do what they've actually asked you to put in the answers. But then when it comes to working with individuals, clients, athletes, you need to do what the science shows. And basically, we need to stimulate that muscle by whatever means possible. And we can do that via doing loads and loads of repetitions. It just means that it's not necessarily the most efficient way to do it, but maybe it's the only possible way to do it. Now, another way of stimulating this muscle mass by adding volume into your training is doing some isometric holds. You know, if you all right now pop your coffee down and lift your arms up to the sides like that, or up above your head or out in front of you, after a while you want to stop. It gets very difficult. And for that reason, it's a form of stimulation for us that is a challenge, and therefore we can incorporate that. A lovely one is to do some isometric holds like that. Get some bands if you have some bands, or if you have a big bottle of water you want to hold out in front of you, or whatever the movement is. Doing an isometric hold and then going into your repetitions. So doing that hold, say you do a 10-second hold and then going into 15 repetitions. That will give you a little extra added form of resistance training. But the basic principles are: increase your protein servings throughout the day. We want to get to something called like 2 to 2.5 grams of protein per kilo of body weight, but you don't really need to worry about that. Just make sure that you're hitting protein servings as regular as possible. Whenever possible, it's dairy or meat, but obviously if you're vegetarian or vegan, then you need to look at alternative options, or perhaps a supplementation, particularly if you are vegan. But these are options for us. And then the second side is to make sure that we are all doing our very, very, very best to increase our repetitions, increase the amount of time spent training, spent doing an exercise, and therefore that means doing 10 sets as opposed to your normal 3 or 4 sets. So if I say I've been training, that's probably a lie. I've been popping down to the garage and doing a few repetitions of exercise every now and again. I don't call it training, because when I used to train, it was proper. But when I've been doing these things, I've basically gone and said, okay, I'm going to do 10 to 12 sets, and I'm going to aim to do 12 to 15 repetitions. And that's it, basically. Trying to give myself the best opportunity by working out for as long as possible. Right, at this point in time, I want everyone to hit like, love, haha, wow, please. It really, really does help Facebook show it to all the people. Our very first lockdown live Q&A reached 2.9K. So 2,900 people watched the very, very first live Q&A. I want us to get up towards that number. We've got 12 people watching live right now, 10 over here on Facebook, and 2 of you over here on Instagram. So thank you very, very, very much. If you would like to click share and write a little comment of why you should be watching this feed to someone, that would be amazing. I really, really do appreciate it. The second question came in from someone who actually watched a couple of the live Q&As from first time round. I'm not sure if they are on right now. Haven't seen those like, loves, ha-ha, wows, you know, guys. I'm not bitter or anything, but still waiting for them to show up. Right, so if this individual is online right now, and I don't quite get their question, please write in the comments, that individual, of what it is you want me to be answering. But the essence of this person's question was, they've been doing intermittent fasting to lose weight. Do I think it works? They have felt stronger and more powerful to be able to run faster, and they have felt more focused, I think it was. Yeah, so they've been doing intermittent fasting, they have used it to lose weight, they have felt stronger and more powerful, and they've found it improved their focus. Therefore, what do I think about it? Do I think it's real, etc., etc.? If this person... Ace Claire, you have jumped in for me. Administration for me, thank you very much. It obviously just means that Facebook doesn't want me to see the like, loves and ha-has, wow. So thank you very much for sharing that. Otherwise I'd be very upset. So basically, for this purpose of intermittent fasting, we need to set the record straight. There is no magic bullet here. Intermittent fasting is not this incredible thing that causes weight loss because you skipped a meal. It causes weight loss because you are consuming fewer calories. There is a smaller window to consume calories. There's loads of studies which kind of argue for both sides, which is the whole purpose of a study, but we have to put our bias aside. And basically, it's just the rules of thermodynamics, and that means that you burn more calories than you consume, therefore you're in a calorie deficit, and as you extend that calorie deficit over a longer period of time, you will lose weight. So intermittent fasting is just a strategy of weight loss. It is not the magic bullet which is causing the weight loss. You're just consuming total calories fewer by using this method, and it's something I do regularly. In terms of intermittent fasting for performance, before we get to the specifics of your question, intermittent fasting for performance is kind of frowned upon. It's not very good for developing muscle mass because, and let's clarify here, developing muscle mass for the average person, you and I, doesn't really make much of a difference when you do it. When you are at the absolute pinnacle, so you have perfect genetics and you have maintained training for an extended period of time and you have maxed out every single opportunity for training, then by consuming protein at 3 to 4 windows, you're hitting muscle protein synthesis, leucine threshold. These are these technical terms. You don't need to know these. I'm just saying them because it basically builds trust that you can look these things up afterwards and say, Arch does know what he's talking about. But basically, these regular opportunities for protein feeding are what develop muscle mass, and we need muscle mass whether you're an endurance runner or you're a power athlete. And intermittent fasting rules out 8 hours of that window. So that's 2 feedings, perhaps even 3 feedings that you've lost there. So it's not ideal. For endurance performance, it's categorically a no. It means that, particularly if we do intermittent fasting overnight and into the morning, but you have a morning training session, you will not perform at maximal. You just cannot. The requirement for glycogen is too high, so carbohydrates basically. So if you're doing an easy run or something very, very moderate, it will feel harder than it actually is based on your current level of fitness, but that's pretty much your only opportunity. You cannot do what I refer to as quality sessions. Some of the guys on here watching live, clients, athletes, will know what I mean by that, but quality sessions are the hard sessions, the ones where the work gets done. You won't be able to maintain high levels of performance in those quality sessions, and even though if you do hit faster speeds, you won't be hitting the fastest speed you're capable of if you were carbohydrate fed. And that's why it's not recommended for performance athletes. Certainly wouldn't do it with an endurance athlete. What is interesting is that we all have our preferences. I actually prefer to run having not eaten anything. Am I an elite athlete? No. The second interesting thing is that the there's a small clan of Kenyan athletes who have a fasted training session. I've talked about this loads of times on live, but have a fasted training session in their program. And it appears as if evolution has accelerated within this group, which allows their metabolism, the way they oxidize the energy that they're utilizing in their body, basically, at a faster rate, which basically means that they can have small benefits of fasted training. But still, they don't use it regularly, so we shouldn't be using fasted training as a format to improve performance. Now, in terms of improving speed and power output, that's the reduced weight. So 100%, if you reduce your body weight, you will generally be fitter as a result of it. You'll find endurance running easier because you are a lighter weight. And if you maintain some of your training strategies, you still train like your elite athlete or whatever, you can actually still trigger enough of a response for power movements, and therefore at a lighter weight, a lighter body weight, but maintaining power or just a small decrease in power, you will overall have a net improvement in power. If you are watching said individual who asked that question earlier in the week, then please let me know if I've answered all your question. There's the bit about focus. That's completely individual. Some people just find that by being fasted as such, you basically get past the point of hunger and then you just stop thinking about it. Whereas some people eat first thing in the morning, about an hour and a half later, they're hungry and that's all you can think of. So you lose that focus. Cool. Everyone, if that was interesting, you know what to do. You know those buttons to press. Please press them. And we've got a couple of new people over here on Instagram. Hello, Instagram. It looks a lot prettier over here on Facebook, I've got to say. Press those buttons. What are we like? We got 8 minutes or so, 9 minutes until I'm logging off for that moment of silence. Claire, you asked a couple of questions. I only saw them about 4 minutes before I went live. Off the top of my head, one was about comfort eating in winter. Is that right? And then the other question was around lethargy? Or was it winter lethargy? Have I mixed the two questions up? Let me know just here what those questions were for a second, please. Ali asks, what tips can you give a new runner about breathing and not getting a stitch? Ali, absolutely brilliant question, that one. Basically, you need to slow right down. So decrease your speed. It'll probably feel a little bit funny initially, but decrease your speed and try to get a song in your head. If you have a song playing in your head that you can breathe in time to, the regular rhythmic pattern of that breathing is really, really useful. And that should actually prevent you from getting a stitch, basically. It's really odd, isn't it? But hopefully that's useful to you. But basically go slower and get a song in your head. Don't let it be a trance music song, really fast song. Something nice that has a good beat to it. Claire, thank you very much. Winter lethargy, motivation needed, stopping comfort food cravings. Cool. Okay, some really good ones here. I find this is a massive thing for me. Comfort food cravings. Bigger main meal portions for comfort food cravings. Basically, it's about having that sensation of feeling full, but then you increase your discipline. You're almost rewarding yourself for feeling full. Increase your discipline for resisting snacks and post-meal eating. So what you do, you have this big meal, you keep everything in a different room away from you. The bowl doesn't come into the lounge or anything like that. The bowl of goodies stays in the kitchen. If you want to have something from there, you bring 1 or 2 items in and that's it. But by feeling full, it reduces your opportunity, your likelihood. I am stuffed. I actually don't feel like I would be very well if I continue eating, basically. That's the comfort food cravings go-to, step 1, basically. Winter lethargy, motivation needed. Yeah, I appreciate this. It's cold, it's dark. Basically, the longer we delay it for... Oh, there's an ant walking... Oh no, a money spider. Everybody, a money spider is walking along the top of my laptop over there. I could be in for a very good day. Sorry, very off topic. So the easiest thing here, the solution is do whatever you can as soon as possible. Do it as soon as possible in the day. Reduce your demands as well. Stop saying that you have to go and do an hour worth of exercise or you have to do 10,000 steps. You have to do something really accountable. And you know, Claire, actually, from the program where we started off on 4 weeks, 4 kilos with 6,000 steps is week 1. Everyone always goes on and on and on about it has to be 10,000. No, actually, it really doesn't. It's just about increments. So set very, very much smaller demands of yourself. I really like doing things like, okay, you just got to go out and do 20 minutes. So tomorrow I've actually set myself, because this week was really busy for me. I didn't really train this week very much. So I've set myself this goal that tomorrow I'm going to do 20 minutes of exercise. That's not very long. That's not a real training session for most people. But for me, that's going to be achievable. I know I can do 20 minutes. I know it. No matter how much I want to just lie down, I know I can do it. Hopefully, Claire, those two things will help you. We have 4 minutes left on the clock. Alwyn, you have no idea how nice it is to see you on here. So good morning to you. Thank you for joining. Is it okay to stretch, do yoga in the evenings if you have been running in the mornings or vice versa? 100%. I would highly recommend it. I would really, really recommend that if the stretches are revolving around hamstrings, so back of the upper leg and calves, we do something just to warm them initially, but 100% doing those back to back, so both things in the morning, both things in the evening, one of them in the morning, one of them in the evening, you will only see benefits. In terms of the kind of number of sessions, the yoga and stretching, there's nothing really which says you shouldn't be able to do like 20 minutes of that 6 or 7 times a week without a problem. The running, 100% allocate yourselves 2 days on, 1 day off. Go for five as your upper limit realistically, unless we're doing something. Are we training for something very exciting here, Alwyn? Do let me know. Jessica. Good morning, Jessica. Back at home. How are you, Jessica? Are you having a nice day? It's a little bit chilly out there. Was it a nice walk? Right, guys. Claire, I've just seen it. Guess I need to stop ordering brownies by post. You don't have to stop ordering. Keep supporting those independents, please. Just send them to me instead. I'm joking. You've done that once before. You don't need to. Right, guys. I think I've done really, really well there at staying on time. I was only 20 minutes over on my class on Friday, which is really pretty good for me. If you have any questions that are like quick fire questions, because I am going to be off for our moments of silence. So if you have a quick fire question, please post it. You guys on Instagram, post them as well. If you had a question and I've answered it, but it's not as much as you wanted, please let me know as well. We can go back to that next week. Whilst I have you, 10 of you watching, 2 of you, 3 of you over on Instagram. So thank you very much for joining us. Hit like, love, haha, wow. Share this feed. Facebook basically ranks and tells people what they're going to show by the amount of interactions on a live video. And that's really, really great for us. We were getting so many views on that very first one, which was very, very, very cool. And I would love to get that. I'd love to get back to, we got 2,900. If I could get to 3,000, that would be incredible. Did anyone see me on or hear me on BBC Radio? That was cool. Really enjoyed doing that. Hopefully we'll see more of that coming soon. We have the Strength Training for Runners app, which I know some of you have joined. The Strength Training for Runners app launched a couple of weeks ago. It was on early bird until Saturday. That was yesterday. Yes, until yesterday. So it was £87 for 8 weeks worth of training. You don't get to interact with me except in a group environment, but everything is shown to you on a video. All your strength and conditioning, your mobility, your plyometric drills, your running drills, all with videos, all with triggers. It's really, really cool. It has gone up to full price, which is £167 for 8 weeks. But if anyone on here, if anyone on here really, really wants to get access, drop me a message and I'll give you 20% off. But you have to do it by tomorrow. Ha. Mark. Fantastic, Mark. That's really cool. I think I saw another message from you, Mark, as well, previously. Really glad it was interesting, informative. Alwyn, absolutely, yes. I will send you the link for the interview. Danny, yes, very cool interview. Yeah, it was really cool. We have 1 minute left, guys. If you have any other questions, please fire away. Got one question here. Where do you live? I live in Birmingham. Ian, thank you. I did session 1 yesterday. Felt muscles, never knew I had. That's cool, Ian. Remember, extend those rest periods if you need to. The number one thing that people do is cut the rest period short. We shouldn't be doing that. We should be focusing on technique. The rest periods are carefully calculated, especially as we get to the weeks like 5 to 8. You know, we have to be maintaining those rest periods. Right, everyone, please enjoy your Sunday afternoon and evening. If you're going to do a bit of training, go out, make sure you enjoy it. Please, please, please do tell people we're going to be doing these weekly on Sundays. I'm trying to reach and help as many people as possible over the 4 weeks, and I would love to be communicating to bigger audiences. Maybe I can get even something on TV. Ha, Claire, I can always trust you, rely on you, should I say. Arj, it's getting close. From me then, everyone, have a fantastic morning. Keep your heads held high. Reach out, drop me a message if you want access to the Strength Training for Runners app. And if you need any help,